we're gonna talk about today about deployments. We're gonna talk about it's all about deployments. We're gonna create a deployment. I will show you how a deployment is set up, deployment status, update a deployment, running back a deployment, checking the rollout history of a deployment, scaling a deployment, pausing and resuming a deployment. And deleting a deployment. So a deployment is one of the biggest things in Kubernetes, because in the deployment you will put in your pod. Your pod is your Docker. So if I've prepared one Docker here, one deployment. So if we have a look, I've got a deployment. It has an API version. It's a deployment. It's a kind deployment. Has some metadata. That's important. You've got a name, a label. You can choose your own label. And here starts your deployment. I'm starting my deployment with 3 replicas. You can choose your own number, of course. We've got a selector, match labels, and again, you've got the same label. My habit is keeping those labels the same. So, and then we've got the template. That's the real Docker here. So, has some metadata, the same label. This is a spec of the container. We're doing Nginx. We've got an image of Nginx 179 and has a port 80 for the outside world. In the next tutorial we'll talk about services, but first this is deployment. So we've got this deployment. What we're gonna do is let's start this deployment. First we're gonna check kube control get pod. There are no resources, there are no pods on the server yet. First, what we're gonna do, we're deploying this pod in the namespace default. So we're keeping it simple. So kube control create -f for file, and then we'll start the YAML, and then you will start the rollout. You can check the rollout with kube control get deployments. It's really fast. So we're getting the deployments, and we're seeing here Nginx deployment. We have 3 pods desired. We've got 3 running, and they're up to date and available, and they're 6 seconds old. So if I have a look and do a kube control get pod, we'll see 3 pods. They're running. So if I have a look in depth on my deployment, I'm doing kube control describe deployments slash of let's first do a get the deploy. So we've got Nginx deployment. So we'll do a kube control describe. So kube control describe. It's a deployment. We're gonna and then Nginx. I have to type it right. Nginx deep. So this is Nginx deployment. It's in the namespace default. We created it as a label, has some annotations, revision 1, as a selector. We've got 3 of those. We can do rolling update. if you do a rolling update, they can only be max 25 and available. So this is the image, port 80, and then these are the log files. So if we have a look at the pod, one of the pods in the deployment, I'm just selecting it, it's easier to copy it. So if we do kube control describe pod, because we're going to describe the pod. So it's running, it's controlled by the replica set nginx deployment. Has a container ID, it's pullable, port 80 running, and then as a secret, I will come to that in the further vodcast and the video as a secret. And then the events are important. It's scheduled by the scheduler, did a mount of the default token because he needs the default token. It's pulled the image, created and started. So we've got 3 of those. If we delete one pod, let's delete this one. Oh, yeah. If we delete one pod, there was something else in my copy buffer. So, and you will see it's creating a pod right away. It's terminating the other one. So if one pod dies, the deployment will start up a third one again. So let's if you want to know which server your pods are running, you will do option wide. You can see the name, if it's ready running, if it had restarts, age, IP address of the pod, and which node it's running on. So you can also check your status of your rollout with kube control, rollout status, and then deployment, and then nginx deployment. It's successfully rolled out. So if we do an update of the Docker image, so we have a new version of nginx. We can do that in a few ways. We can edit the deployment. We can do a kube control edit deployment nginx deployment. So if we have a look when we're doing this, you will see the complete YAML file that the Kubernetes created for me, and you can change your image name over here. But I think that's fun, but it's too difficult. You can also change the replicas here. If you make a typo here, that's a fun thing. I'm just typoing and then do a w quit. It will say to me, it's a bit dark, it was not valid. So I'm now quitting without saving. Note, edit cancelled, no valid changes were served. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set a new image, and we can do this in 2 ways. This is the second way. We're gonna change the image of the deployment to 191. So, and we have to do it fast because I want to show you what happens then when the new image is set. So it's creating a container, it's running the new containers and terminating the old containers. If you can see, let's scroll back a bit. So it started creating a new container. That container was running. You can see this one is the same as this one. And then it terminated the other one, it created a new one, and so on and so on. And so it had 3 running and it terminated the old ones. So now we successfully roll out a new image, and this is continuous delivery. We can do it all day without downtime. So let's have a look when your rollout will break. When we gonna change this to a bogus version. What will happen if we make a typo here? So if I do this is a typo. Then it says deployment Nginx is updated. Let's have a look. It states to me error image pool. Okay, what happened with that pod? Kube control get describe pod, and then pod name. So this is the image here, which is wanted to pull. It failed. Image. So we made an error. What we're gonna do then? Now we're gonna tell Kubernetes. Maybe we want to roll back. Which versions do we have? We're now we've got version 1, we've got version 2, we've got version 3. We're now at version 3. I want to go back. Let's have a look. What's in revision? Revision 2. Oh, this is the right pod name. So let's go back, or let's undo our deployment. Undo. So, and if we have a look now at pods, it's undone my my change. So if we have a look at kube control get deployment, there's only one deployment in default namespace, so we can do this. And if we can describe, I want to describe. So it's back to image 191. So okay, what's next? So you've seen the history. So the history, we've got now 2 is gone. We're now 2 is 4. So if we go back to 1, we can go back to 1. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna go to what did I miss? Oh, we're gonna go scaling or pause and deployment. Let's pause the deployment. Let's pause the deployment. So let's pause this. Really easy. Rollout pause. It's not gonna roll out. And now we're gonna set the image to a different image, and we're gonna go back because I know this image works. So if it's rolling out, no, doing nothing. And if I have a look at the deployment, it has image this. But if I have a look at pod, let's kube control get pod, describe pod, describe pod and on this, you'll see here it's still on this. And if I resume the rollout, kube control rollout resume, bam, you will see it's resuming my rollout. It's doing my rollout. So you can prepare your rollouts, prepare your changes, and check, double check, and then do rollout. So I'm back at I've got change 5, and if you have a look at the pod, this one is gone. They're all new because that's how pods work, and that's version 171. So let's scale the thing. We can do scaling in 2 ways. So if I have to do an edit, I've shown you here, you can do set scaling, but it's easier to do it like this. Just say to the kube control deployment, Nginx deployment, give me 10 replicas. So kube control get pod again, and it's starting up 10 replicas. Easy as that. And if I want to do 1 replica, it will terminate. Oh, it will terminate. It's already terminating. It's a small pod, so it's really fast. It's terminating my my pods. So we'll talk about autoscaling, because autoscaling is a thing in Kubernetes, in a future video. So this is all about deployments. I hope you like it. Subscribe to my video channel, and yeah, more videos to come. Thank you very much. Bye guys.